All right. What has two thumbs and a nightly YouTube show? And we're ready for a bong hit. This guy. Let's see. My name's Mike, and this is my YouTube page, Mox News. Thanks very much for tuning in, and welcome to your Wake and Bake News at 7 p.m. I'm your host, Moxie. Okay, and this is a call-in show. If anybody wants to call, the number's right there on the screen, 805-669-6397. Feel free to call at any time. I have many videos for you ready this evening. Lots and lots of videos, okay? So, we can start off with a video. I have a video here about Russia and China. Russia, our big rivalries. Russia and China. No, I'm not going to play that one just yet. Not that one. Let's see. Oh, the police chief zombie flyer. Actually, a sheriff. Zombie flyer. I like the zombie flyer. And I'm going to heat up the bong because I'm ready for a bong hit. So I'm going to play this one, zombie flyer for police chief. I think you'll like it. I really enjoyed this story.
Time is running out in the effort to recall Snohomish County Sheriff Adam Fortney. Signatures to qualify for the ballot are due today. Right now, Sheriff Fortney is focused on his family's security. That's because of this flyer that's been circulating in Lake Stevens and Snohomish. The sheriff calls it reprehensible and says it's forced him to find better security. Recall organizers say it's not likely they will get the 45,000 signatures they need. Yesterday, a judge turned down their request to extend today's deadline. That's because of this flyer that's been circulating in Lake Stevens and Snohomish. The sheriff calls it reprehensible and says it's forced him to find better security.
You guys like that one? I like that one. I like the zombies. I like the zombie excessive force welcome. I thought that was pretty good. Okay, so, and I have other videos, of course. I have many videos ready to go. But I thought we'd start off with that one because I like it. And then we have videos about, I have a video with an interview with the Portland police chief. I have a video of somebody in a red pickup truck with a gun killing crows. He's driving around, he stalks the crows, and then he rolls down his window and he points a gun out the window and kills them. Which, to me, is a big problem because it looks like to me these are practice runs, you understand, for possibly a much bigger target. So I hope that when I show this video, if that person truck looks familiar, it's a very distinctive truck. If it looks familiar, I really hope someone contacts the officials because, and you never hear me say that, but somebody killing animals for either for entertainment or for practice is not cool. And crows are very smart. I got a thing for crows. They're incredibly intelligent. I'm feeling much better now. Okay, I wanted to make sure that you guys know that tomorrow night is the South Park with the Q vaccination special, which I think is going to be remarkable. I think it will be very interesting to find out which side of the vaccination these guys, wind up on. Generally, they state both sides of the argument pretty clearly. And a lot of times they will they'll make it clear that both sides are stupid. So I very much am looking forward to that, and I hope you guys are looking forward to it also. We have I have set the DVR, So I will not miss it. It comes on early. But in case we're busy doing this, I won't miss it. So... Okay. Anyways. Oh, that's a good picture. Rufus's butthole. We should enlarge that picture so it's just Rufus's butthole. I see. Okay. What? Oh. Craig wants you to vote for me. He'll have to explain it to you. Some kind of greatest beard in the Northwest. Sasquatch sighting. Greatest beard in the Northwest. I'm trying to do a TV show here! Oh, and also, the Walmart and the CVC giving vaccines is also fucking with your personal information. I thought that was probably an important video to see. George Floyd trial is gonna get heated. I can tell already that they're like, the judge is not allowing this and the judge is not allowing that, and it just looks really fucking crooked already. And then I have Kennedy going after Hillary Clinton, so I thought you guys would want to see that for sure. Let's see. Okay, so I can play more videos if no one wants to call. This is a call-in show, and I will be happy to take your calls. Otherwise, I'm going to play another video. So, I will play, let's see. Retiring Republicans. Let's do that one.
You might not be thinking about the 2022 midterm elections yet, but plenty are. And some major developments in just the past few weeks could determine control of the U.S. Senate and more. Sinclair's chief political correspondent Scott Thuman reports.
I won't be a candidate for re-election to the United States Senate next year.
It's not exactly a video that crashed the internet, Missouri Senator Roy Blunt announcing he won't run again in 2022, but in political circles it raised plenty of eyebrows. Blunt joins Richard Burr, Richard Shelby, Pat Toomey, and Rob Portman as Republicans who've decided to leave behind their Senate seats.
A lot of times it's a signal that the senators don't think their party will win back the majority in the next election. And so I think that's the bigger significance here.
And that's where former President Trump comes in, with a desire to play kingmaker. But efforts to shape the party's future can be rewarding or risky.
If Trump-backed candidates are just throttled in 2022, I think the party's going to look at him and say, maybe that mystique and that talent is lost, and we need to go in a very different direction in 2024.
We spoke Friday with the head of the Republican National Committee, Ronna McDaniel. How much decision-making is still going through former President Trump?
Really, he didn't do a lot of the decision-making even when he was president. He was running the White House, and the RNC was determining which races to get involved in. Certainly in primaries, we stay neutral. My guess is he'll be endorsing.
Trump's already vowed to campaign against Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski, who voted for his impeachment. And Trump's CPAC appearance made clear he still holds influence. But should he?
We have to make sure that we are able to convey to the American voters we are the party of responsibility, we are the party of truth, but we should not be embracing the former president.
And it's so tight here right now, a 50-50 split in the Senate, and Republicans would only need to gain a half dozen seats to take the House. And whether it helps or hurts, former President Trump likely to have a loud voice. On Capitol Hill, I'm Scott Thuman.
Right now, more than 3,000 undocumented migrant children are in limbo at the border. As of Monday, 1,400 of them have been beyond a 3-day legal limit. President Biden facing a two-pronged problem: the number of children crossing the border and what to do with them once they're in custody. Republicans say Biden's immigration policies are to blame.
How about the team ask, what are we doing to stop it and to turn these migrants back and to tell them this is not the way to come to America?
The Biden administration is now urging migrants not to come to the U.S. right now. Biden sent officials to the border last week to brief them on the situation.
Twitter is suing Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. The tech giant is trying to stop Paxton from demanding information regarding its content moderation system. Twitter says the demands are retaliation for banning former President Trump from the social media platform. Paxton opened an investigation in January targeting Twitter and Facebook. Paxton is a Republican and a Trump supporter.
Dang, I didn't mean to get that Simpsons clip in there in the end. Anyways, I think with all the Republicans retiring, is what I'm seeing is that the heat is getting too hot in the kitchen. You know the expression, if the heat's too hot in the kitchen, you know, get the fuck out of the kitchen. I don't think that's exactly how the expression goes. But I think that it's obvious that these people are, you know, these are professional politicians, all these people that they're pointing out. It's not like somebody who just started their career as a politician is getting out. These are professional. And this is one of the things that's always bothered me, is I've watched these people commit crimes, war atrocities, and crimes against the people of the United States, and crimes against humanity around the world. I've watched the Congress do this. And besides, by the way, it's not just Republicans that are retiring. I'm quite sure Dianne Feinstein is retiring, and most likely numerous other Democrats. But the point is, again, the heat is getting too hot in the kitchen, you know, with the so-called insurrection on Capitol Hill. And, you know, I imagine that the chatter, you know, they keep talking about the chatter, that the chatter is these politicians are the worst people in the world, and it's not the Republicans are so much better and the Democrats. I think that just these politicians got to go to prison, or something worse is probably what most of the chatter says. So I think, again, they're starting to feel, they're beginning to actually feel the pressure. And again, another proverbial saying, the rats are leaving the ship. The rats are jumping ship because they know the ship is going down and they don't want to go down with the ship, right? So the rats are jumping over. And again, this is something that's always bothered me, because we watch them just walk away like nothing happened. We didn't do anything, you know, and then they just kind of go off into obscurity because, as I've talked about again and again, people's attention span is messed up. It's a programming thing, but you know, the people's attention span is definitely not what it used to be. So my Boo Bear's not there. My Boo Bear's not there. My Pikachu is there. Let's see. I'm really glad to see them feeling this kind of pressure, you know, being worried about what might happen if they actually run for another term, having to actually either side with Donald Trump or be confronted by Donald Trump. It's just like way more pressure than they're used to. And then there's the people, and the people are probably tweet after tweet, you know, letter after letter. You're the biggest piece of shit on the planet, war profiteering, war criminal. You know, I mean, it's obvious to a lot of people. I don't know. I mean, it's very obvious to me, and I don't know that it's been that obvious to everyone, but I'm pretty sure it's obvious to a lot of people. That's who these people are. That's who this government is. And it's not just wars overseas that they profit on. They profit on the war on drugs here at home endlessly. They profit off of people's misery. They're supposed to be up there being a benefit to all of us. And instead, they got a 10-foot razor wire fence up around the Capitol. They got military soldiers walking around with assault-style weapons, saying that you have to be prepared to go into a theater of war. That's the mentality these National Guard people are supposed to be going into this job with, you know. And the military's job is not to stand between the people who pay their wages and a fucked up piece of shit politician and a fucked up piece of shit government who does everything wrong and nothing for the people. Okay? The military is not there to protect their lame asses. Right? So, again, I think some of them are beginning to feel this pressure. You know, people are having more time. So, you know, doing a couple of letters here and there, an email to your congressman, I got a minute for that. And they're spending a lot more time online too, from what I understand. So it's just a lot easier to click on a button and to, you know, vent on your congressman, as you should. That is really what they're there for, to tell them exactly what you think of the job that they're doing. And I'm sure that their emails are very easy to find, and I'm sure that their Twitter accounts are very easy to find. And I don't know if it blows up their phone in the middle of the night when they get 1,000 tweets, but it might be a good idea. let's all tweet. I don't know, AOC at midnight. She's probably not asleep then. You know, she probably doesn't sleep that much. She's probably out partying. That's what I'd be doing if I was her. I mean, not if I had her job, but if I had her boobs, I'd be out partying. You know it's true. If I had her job, I would take it a lot more serious. I would be up there every day calling all my colleagues war profiteers and war criminals. And I would explain every day that it's not just wars, it's not just foreign wars, wars far away. It's wars here in America that these horrible people, these horrible members of Congress have voted again and again and again to keep the war on drugs going forever, even though it's brought us a meth epidemic and a heroin epidemic and a fentanyl epidemic and all kinds of opioid epidemic with the Oxycontin and pills everywhere. That's what the drug wars brought us. And these people act like they can't see it at all and say bullshit expressions like "think of the children" when they started a heroin epidemic. And then they do everything in their power to keep it in place. And then when it gets too hot in the kitchen, they go, "Oh, I'm retiring. It's time for me to step aside and let somebody else do all the war crimes that I've been doing for the last 40 fucking years. All the crimes against Americans, all the soldiers I sent to their deaths." That's who our government is. They sent our soldiers to their deaths based on lies created by our government for the sole purpose of making people like Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney more rich than they ever dreamed. So, and then they just walk away. Dick Cheney just walks away. He starts his fucking giant crime, kills 1 million innocent people, and then just fucking spills depleted uranium all over the fucking Middle East, and just walks away and just makes money, while his daughter in Congress votes to keep the endless wars based on lies going forever because it makes her family wealthy beyond imagination. That's the government we have. And people like Barack Obama, who's the great savior for all of us. Oh, thank God we have somebody who can actually act like a statesman. Barack Obama, oh, we can't look backward, we have to look forward. No, we have to hold war criminals accountable. Otherwise, the presidents who come after them, the vice presidents who come after them, they'll be like the drone king. And they'll just bomb the shit out of schools, school buses, wedding parties. Oh, wait a minute. That's who Obama was. Okay? So there's no difference. Obama, George W. Bush, piece of shit, George W. Bush and Barack Obama are exactly the motherfucking same. Okay? Figure it out. No matter who's in Congress, they're not there for you. They call themselves public servants. They call themselves representatives. They're not representing any of us. They're there lying through their teeth and fucking with the good people of this country solely so they can make themselves more rich, because it's good for them. Because the more they divide us, the less chance we have of coming together and throwing their fucking criminal asses in jail. So yeah, they divide us, they divide us, they divide us in the smallest little compartmental, increments that they can. And people just gobble it up. And they say, oh, this person's on my side. Nope, that person's just talking to different suckers than the guy on the other side. And he's saying, I remember this song by Henry Rollins is called Liar, He's like, oh, the world is just beating you down. Everything is so hard. And then you meet me. And he's all dressed in a police officer's uniform. And he says, and I say everything you've ever wanted to hear. And this is who the politicians are. They say these things. They don't talk about war criminals, because that would be all of their colleagues. They can't talk about that. How Ron... That's why they wouldn't let Ron Paul become president, because he actually spoke against the military-industrial complex. Has AOC ever even said the words military-industrial complex, prison-industrial complex? I haven't heard her say those words. Maybe she has. But it seems like in this country, those are extremely important words for people that are supposed to be defending our freedom and representing us and being public servants, to make sure that the military-industrial complex isn't in charge of our wonderful country, which it is. The prison-industrial complex isn't profiteering off the misery of our great people. But it is, and it's doing it with the approval and sanction of all the members in Congress. And the reason I say all the members, even because you'll get one or two people who don't vote for the thing, the Pentagon budget this year, but they still, it's like they know, it's like theater. They're the so-called controlled opposition. Yeah, we'll let them say this, we'll let them say that. They get their little piece in. But, since Ron Paul is gone, I don't think anybody's talked about war crimes. Possibly Tulsi Gabbard has talked about war crimes, because she knows what happened in Syria. And so does every other member of Congress, but they pretend like they don't know, because she traveled to Syria. She sat down with the President Assad of Syria, and she knows. So, and I'm pretty sure she said the words military-industrial complex also. But I can't think of anybody since Dennis Kucinich or Ron Paul who has said those words on a regular basis. And it's really sad that that's the kind of government that we have. Again, because I see the United States as a wonderful, beautiful place that could be the shiny beacon in the world. I see the people of these United States as good people who deserve better and are capable of so much better than people like John Boehner and Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell, and Donald Trump for that matter. Okay? We need somebody smart and real who wants to lead the United States, wants the United States to lead the world into the 21st century. not some 1950s reality where we just keep putting patches on the infrastructure. The reason that the infrastructure, we don't have a 21st century infrastructure working on a 22nd century infrastructure. The reason we don't have that is because the petroleum companies own the Congress. And the petroleum companies know that in the reality which could exist, they don't really have that big a place in the 21st century, or and certainly not in the 22nd century. So they're going to cling to everything. They're going, again, to keep mankind from evolving into what it can be, to keep the United States from evolving into having the greatest infrastructure in the world. They're going to keep the United States from starting a 21st century infrastructure, working towards a 22nd century infrastructure, because they know there's really not much of a place for them there. And right now, with the infrastructure that we currently have, there's no place for anything else. All the infrastructure that's built is being taken up by this form of energy. So we're going to stick with that, because imagine how much it would cost to redo everything. I don't know. How much would it cost to have free energy from the sun? You tell me. It seems like free, clean energy. How much would it cost to begin to use hemp oil to make fuel? This incredibly renewable source that makes this incredibly clean substance, which you can, with a few $100s of modification, run a Mercedes diesel engine on. Again, Mercedes being the most technologically advanced cars, automotive builders in the world. You can run a diesel Mercedes on hemp oil with just a few $100s worth of improvements. So this can be done, and the technology is being kept from us in order to hold us back. Hello, caller.
What's up, Mark? What's going on tonight?
I'm just making sure everybody knows about the South Park special tomorrow.
Yeah, I will be watching it. Can't wait for it. You know, it's going to be some funny ass shit.
They're very smart, and
they've always been smart.
Yeah, I appreciate their work so much. They have a Christmas special called Critter Christmas, and like every time I see it, I just cry because I feel so happy that I get to enjoy work like this. Now, it's like this thing. I just think that these guys are so great, and it's because they could do anything in the world, Brandon. They could go out and spend $1 million a day every single day of their lives for the rest of their lives, and it probably wouldn't touch their fortunes at all, right? And they could have that lifestyle, but you know what? They make time for their fans. So they can go, hey, here's something, because they know how much their fans think of them, I think, it doesn't get much better really than having fans that think you're great,
Oh, it's like say if it's something passionate that you really like.
Yeah.
But if there's a good joke about, I don't know, your favorite sports team or whatever, if it's funny, you're going to fall out laughing. That's why they've been around forever. The same with The Simpsons, and Family Guy, and their cartoons. And they don't really give a shit. They're like, hey, fuck it, we're a cartoon.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Well,
and a lot of those... I'm sorry, go ahead, man.
No, you said a lot of those.
Yeah, and a lot of those people probably grew up watching Saturday morning cartoons where it was the funniest shit ever from Warner Brothers, cartoons, Bugs Bunny. And
yeah, man, I watch that stuff every Saturday.
Yeah. And
I couldn't believe that it didn't come on every day. I mean, what the fuck is that shit?
Yeah, because think about it. You would go to school, right, all week long.
Yeah.
and you'd be the first one in the house getting your bowl of cereal, watching Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
You know, so now these children, well, I mean, I ain't gonna say the kid, I have kids, but like now, it's just, there's cartoon channels, there's cartoon networks, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But it was a privilege and a special. It was special.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about some of these cartoons were made in the 60s and 50s.
Oh yeah, no,
It's
like
good.
the best,
Yeah.
Brandon, the best fucking Warner Brothers cartoons, the Bugs Bunnies, you know, the Daffy Duck, the best ones,
Yeah.
they were all made before 1960, dude. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
After that, something happened. But the thing about cartoons is, and I think a big part of why things like Simpsons and Family Guys is still around, because I don't find them all that funny anymore. But I think they're still around because people are desperate for cartoons. That's the reason there is a cartoon channel or multiple cartoon channels now, because people love it. And you know, again, why South Park is so beloved, and again, why The Simpsons used to be. I remember a Simpsons episode, I think it's called The Beer Baron. It's where they bring prohibition to South Park.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and Homer starts making alcohol in his basement and selling it to everybody. And he runs out of alcohol at one point, and he's looking around. There's like people there who want to buy stuff from him, and he's looking around, and there's these tubes of caulking. And he grabs 2 tubes of caulking, and he holds them out to the people, and he says, "How about cock? Anybody want some tasty cock?" And it was just like, holy shit. You know?
Hey,
yeah.
I was watching a Family Guy, and I had to text it to my wife. It was where like the chicken, where Peter always fights.
Oh yeah.
And his wife left him, and he's in the hospital. And Peter's like, "Well, why did he leave you? Or why did she leave you?" And the guy's like, "Well, she left me for a bigger cock, meaning a little chicken."
Yeah.
So that was hilarious. So then when Peter talks to him and they squash their beef, he turns around and the chicken's wife and his kids show up with this fucking gigantic rooster that has a deep black voice. You know what I'm saying? Just look it up, like big cock, Peter Griffin.
Funny.
And Peter looks like, wow, that's a big cock. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, but you know, but it was.
Well, when I say cartoons can get away with saying things, it's not just that they can say words because it's funny. They can also say political things, and that's the thing that South Park has done so well. Is they take the current situation and they do their best to try and help people kind of sort it out, because it's not, you know, this whole vaccine and, you know, the coronavirus and all the shit that's happening. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling, you know?
It's like when they come up with the psychology one. Remember that shit?
I'm not sure which one that is.
Yeah, South Park did a whole episode about psychology, and you know.
Scientology, yeah, right.
Scientology. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought you said gynecology. I was like, I don't remember that one.
That'd be another good episode. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the one that I was talking about, the Critter Christmas one, they teach lion cubs how to perform abortions. Which is the part where I generally start crying, so because it's so fucking beautiful.
But sometimes you need to take a situation and just laugh at it, you know, and just say it's not that serious, folks. We gonna be okay, or whatever is going on in the world, we're gonna be okay. It's not that complicated. But so many people. Who have nothing to do with what's going on, say, with whatever the major topic is, right? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck does it matter to you? Stop stressing the fuck out about it. You know what I'm saying? You know.
I tell people all the time, stay cool. You know, we'll get through it. If you get too stressed out, you know, again, I explain this, that it is easy to take the wrong step, you know, but when you're staying cool, it's a lot easier to make the right steps, so.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's good advice, man. And just think about about it. Don't overreact. But right now, with all this boatload of information that we all get, some people just can't handle it because they hear things that they don't want to hear, and they don't know how to deal with it because they assume if someone disagrees, right, with anything, then they feel that it's an attack upon them. Does that make sense?
Well, I think maybe they feel like it's a threat to their beliefs. You know what I mean? It's like this guy is gonna try and change my strong-held beliefs. I gotta get defensive against that as quickly as possible.
Yeah, but how can I go in your brain and make you like the color yellow when you love the color blue? That's stupid, right?
It's not that I can't help you like the color yellow. It's just that
But they feel you're going to force me to not like something I like, and I have to do this. No.
Right. This is exactly what I see about this fucking drug legalization thing. Okay? It's like, people are like, oh, well, they're going to make all these people do heroin. No. If the people want to do heroin, they have no problem going and doing it right fucking now.
Anyway.
So everybody, when heroin becomes legal, if you think everybody's going to run down to the store to get some fucking heroin, you're not all that bright, are you?
You know what? I went over to my neighbor's house. She's 65, widow. Me and my mom. I'm sitting there. We just shooting shit, and she's always pissed off because she's always in the politics. And she said, "Would you hear about Oregon? They're going to legalize all the drugs." This one out the fucking blue, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, Rhonda. I said, listen. That people on the West Coast really, those ancestors of these people right now really are the last of the frontier. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, they've always did things different because religion has never been controlled like it was in the South, right? Or the Catholic Church or whatever entire East
Now,
Coast.
that makes a lot of sense to me, Brandon. I never thought about that before.
And also the Bible Belt, which is we call the flyover states, correct?
Yeah.
So why y'all was out, why your ancestors or the ancestors from the Carolinas and what, I'm not sort of Carolinas, but like California, and it's extreme. Think about it. It's brown out there, and it's natural. They've been there. It's their fucking land, right? Meaning they've always lived there. That's what I'm getting at, right? Uh-huh. And the Native Americans have always lived there. It's not like I believe by the time the ancestors of the last frontier got everything established on the West Coast, they looked to the East Coast and said, we ain't going, because they're about, 50 years behind, or maybe 70 or 100 years behind, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they said, we're not going to make the mistakes that the South made, right?
Right.
And we're not going to make the mistakes that these people made from over here and over here and over here. And you have your own shit. The perfect example ever is Cheech and fucking Chong. Mm-hmm. Perfect fucking example. A Canadian and a Mexican from California that went to Canada so he wouldn't get drafted. You know what I'm saying? And look, it came up to be one of the best, funniest duos, and really is American pop culture. You know what I'm saying?
Again, it's like the cartoons. They were kind of cartoon characters, and they were able to get away with things that the mainstream media, like the regular Sunday night movies, could never get away with.
But back in the South or in the Bible Belt, that's like a devil movie or whatever the case.
Reefer Madness, or that's the devil's weed.
Yeah. But those cartoons are what they are. They're cartoons. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
I realized just recently, like in the last year or two, that Bugs Bunny is actually a giant hero of mine. And I never realized how big a hero Bugs Bunny was to me. But, he never took shit off of anybody. you know. And if anybody actually continued to give him shit, he made real clear that he was the wrong person to do that to. And it wasn't like he was going around looking for shit or whatever. He'd just be eating a carrot, and somebody'd be like, "Hey, fucker!" Be like, "Hey."
Yeah, you know, I mean, think about it. Elmer Fudd is pointing a barrel down his fucking home in the hole, and he's like, "Wait a minute, why are you pointing a gun at me? What I ever do to you?" You know what I'm saying? And he questioned a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
He asked a lot of questions.
Yeah.
You know, and he asked the question in a way that the other character can never just answer it. Well, I need to kill you because I need to make a hat. That never came up. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, I'm going to kill you because that's what I do. I'm a hunter. You know, or whatever the case, right? You know, and but yeah, man, like to be honest, my favorite was the sarcastic ass Daffy Duck.
Oh,
you know what
man.
I'm saying? He didn't give a damn.
Daffy Duck, I love the Duck Dodgers in the 21st and a half century or whatever, 23rd and a half century, whatever it was. I love those cartoons where, you know, Daffy played like a space captain. But there's...
Oh, yeah, where it's like the little Martian guy?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a big fuzzy animal, and one day he cut him down and went up and left us some shoes.
Yeah. There's a newer, I should say, Looney Tunes show, and it's called The Looney Tunes Show. And it's like a soap opera where Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck are roommates in a house in suburbia. And like the Tasmanian devil is their dog, and then like all the people that live around them are people you would know. But the crew, the people who are doing the voices and the writing are Saturday Night Live people like Kristen Wiig and Fred Armisen and people like that. So it's great writing. It's really good voicing and it's really fucking... Daffy Duck and Lola Bunny are like just the funniest off the world, out of the charts people. I mean, there's this one episode where Daffy gets like cosmetic surgery on his beak. And I'm telling you, I cannot stop laughing. I just laugh my ass off every second of that cartoon. So fucking funny.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But it's hilarious, you know. And it was, again, like those, like... The best thing was Friday after school, you go play. If you got homework, you do it. You eat dinner, and you take a bath or whatever, and you go to sleep, and you wake up and get that bowl of cereal. And you want to wake up real early. You know what I'm saying? And see all the cartoons, because they was on one channel, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
You know,
I think they were on. I think they were on a couple different channels, but it was like they kind of segmented them so that you could like watch this one and then you could switch over to get the other one, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's still kind of the way I remember it, but I think I'm about 10 or 12 years younger than you.
Yeah, right.
I think so.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, not younger. I meant older than you. I'm sorry, Brandon. I think I'm like 10 or 12 years.
That's what I think. Yeah, right. But yeah, man, I'm excited to watch it, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, because last week, they got the Paramount app coming out. Have you heard about that yet?
Paramount?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. It's advertised. I watch these other apps on the Comcast cable, so I keep seeing it advertised. I keep seeing it advertised on those channels.
Yeah, we signed up for it, and dude, they have a very good catalog.
It sounds like they have a very large catalog of all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah, because they're with Comedy Central. They got everything on there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All type of old stuff.
There's
from back in the day.
Oh yeah. There's this one app I was watching last night. Is called I think it's pronounced Xumo, which is XUMO, and it's free on the Comcast cable, and wherever you probably get apps. I don't know, on your phone or whatever. And I watched a movie last night called Incarnation of the Monkey King. incarnation of the Monkey King, and it had this girl in it, dude. And I mean, she wasn't the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, but she was probably the most adorable thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I could just not take my eyes off her. I went immediately to the fucking computer. I'm like, you know, and I'm typing in. I wasn't typing in the incarnation of the Monkey King. I was typing in the incarceration, and I couldn't find her. And I'm like, oh my god, I gotta know who this person is. And you know what her name is? Her name is. Ha Ha He. It's Hahahe. Ha Ha He.
Yeah. You know, that's what I do a lot of times. Like, if I'm watching a movie or something on TV, and I'm like, who is that person? I Google their ass straight up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I watched Romeo Must Die this week, and like immediately I was like, I gotta find out who this director is and what else he's done, because it was pretty impressive. Romeo Must Die. That's Jet Li. Jet Li.
Yeah, him and Leah was in that movie,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Man, wasn't that a poor waste of? I mean, I'm not a poor waste, but just a tragic ending to that girl's life. You know?
I don't know. I'm not. I don't know what happened to her. What happened to her?
Oh, well, you know, she was a very, very successful R&B singer.
Yeah.
Right? And dancer. She's very popular. Good music.
Yeah.
Well, she shot a video in Jamaica called Rock the Boat. And her and her friends got in the airplane to fly back from Jamaica to Florida, and the plane crashed.
That's rough, man.
Yeah, she's like maybe 22.
Yeah.
22. I don't know. She was very young, early 20s.
Yeah, that's
man.
That's one of those things. Yeah. Like, that sounds like one of those things where like they kill Kurt Cobain, so they kill Kurt Cobain, so they own the control of the fucking catalog of all the songs and stuff. You know, Jimi Hendrix, all that kind of shit. You know.
Yeah, I've heard about the Jimi Hendrix stuff. I've heard rumors. I mean, stuff you see online about Kurt Cobain was killed. It was Courtney that was behind it or something like that. I have no idea.
Kurt Cobain, the evidence is really screwed up, man. I've looked at the evidence, and it doesn't add up to what they're saying.
Because from my understanding, I've seen the photos of where like they took and it's like him in a dress with his head blowed off pretty much with a shotgun, a pump, whatever. Yeah, it's. You know, man, that shit's weird. You know.
Yeah, it doesn't make. I
don't want no part of it.
Yeah, well.
You know, listen.
Go ahead.
That's like you know, like you about to sign a big fat contract, but you gotta like suck somebody's dick. You know what I'm saying? So they can get some dirt on you, and you're like, fuck that, and the next thing you know, you're in a dress with no head. Yeah, it's weird.
Well, I don't think that was his first time in a dress, but.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, because he performed in that shit. Yeah, man. And that guy was a pioneer. But yeah, it's weird. It is weird.
There's like this 27 club or something where all these artists die at like age 27.
It's Janis Joplin.
Right.
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah. Jim Morrison.
I don't know. Yeah, Jim Morrison. Yeah, it's like, hey man, like if I was famous, bro, I would go like and just live in a church that whole year. I'm 27. You know what I'm saying? But like, hey,
a bunker somewhere. I'm not coming out.
Be like, nope.
I'm not ordering pizza. Don't even ring the fucking doorbell, bitch.
Yeah. I'm growing my own food. Leave me the fuck alone.
I got enough shit in here for a year. I don't need any food.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you know, but yeah, man. But yeah, that is weird about like, you know, but it's weird because they all had so much potential. I mean, like, you know, what was it, like that song, The Day the Music Died, you know, Richie Valens, the Big Bopper, and Jackie Wilson, you know what I'm saying? All the young guys. But now, it happens like at least once a fucking month with rappers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they can't get to 23.
Well, that makes it very convenient for the record companies that want to get rid of them. This is just what happens.
Well, you know what? To be honest, I think they learned a lot off of Tupac and Biggie.
Yeah.
And they're like, man, this motherfucker worth more dead than alive.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I agree. I bet that's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying about people like Hendrix and Jim Morrison and stuff. They're just it's just so much. It's hard. They're gonna go out there. What they're thinking is they're gonna go out there and they're gonna do some stupid shit, and then everybody's gonna be like, oh, that guy was an evil guy, and we can't buy his music anymore. So we'll just get rid of him now, and we'll be able to sell their shit forever and ever as the most popular stuff ever. And they do.
Yeah, Hey, let me ask you this: do you know the past 2 years the leading download music artist has been Drake?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. The rapper from Canada, right? He's got like billions of downloads every few. He's a billionaire.
Nice.
And I know a while back, maybe a year or so ago, he was thinking about just going independent. And one executive of a music label was like, if he goes executive, then there is no more music labels because everyone's going to go. You know what I'm saying? Because you can just have your damn cell phone and have a banging ass song, and that's all you need now. You don't need flyers and posters anymore.
Yeah,
right?
no.
It's all digital.
Yeah, but you need some you got to have talent, and you need people. You need people with an eye. If you're going to be making videos, you need people with an eye for that kind of stuff, and that's what I mean by talent. It's you doing it just yourself is not enough. But I have seen like numerous fucking artists open up music studios, and then they fill them with talented people, and they make great music.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I listen to all different genres. But the only type of music I don't listen to is like gospel. That's it. I can listen to every damn thing else, man, but gospel.
I imagine there's some gospel music that I could probably enjoy.
Yeah. My wife listens to a lot of gospel.
Like the stuff they do when like you see them marching down like in New Orleans with like a funeral, right? They're having a funeral parade, stuff like that.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. That's probably jazzy stuff, though. Yeah.
But yeah, hey, listen, man. I think I was into you earlier about we wish that our government really just focused on the American people, and I think probably the next 4 to 12 years that's what's going to happen.
I think that's partially why these people are jumping ship, why these rats are jumping ship. It's on both sides. Is they see it coming. They see a reckoning coming. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's just like we said about jumping ship. Paul Ryan, the senator for Wisconsin, he fought for forever to try to get a lower tax code. As soon as Trump got in office, he got it, and then he retired. Now he's working for some very wealthy firm, because they done made billions of dollars off that tax cut. I mean, that tax cut, right?
Yeah.
And really that's what they're doing. Some try to hang on for, or whatever. But, if you look how old those senators are, they just are so out of touch with America. And I believe that the reason why they cannot change their view is because all these companies give them perks. Maybe they go in their conf room, and it's a little Asian girl, or it's a little Asian boy. You never know. You know what I'm saying? So they've already been compromised, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I'm certain that there's people who give them, briefcases full of $100 bills and shit like that. There's no doubt in my mind.
But I mean stuff that can really, really, really make them look bad.
Compromise.
To make them want to jump off a bridge.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But yeah, man. I mean, but hopefully, like, hang on, have you showed the video or talked about Donald Trump's coming home party back to New York? How bad it was.
No, I didn't. I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's sad, man. Like Trump's, I guess he goes back to one of his towers in New York, and they have all the roads blocked off, and no fucking body shows up. and like, and so you see,
hey, man, there's a plague going on. Haven't you heard?
Yeah, right. But listen, not the Trump supporters,
Yeah.
And as they're filming inside the building, and Trump's walking around, there's a dude vacuuming. You don't see no fucking body, bro.
Yeah.
The cops are out there. They got the barricades up.
Yeah.
Like, it's fans. No one shows up. So, yeah.
Well, it seems a little odd. You
majority
would would think the press would show up at least, right?
Yeah, but it just, like, I was talking to my buddy. He's a big right winger and stuff, and he's like 64 or 65.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Michael, I'm like, listen, man. Obviously, for the past 30 years, the American people, the majority, don't want to live up under a Republican-controlled government. Y'all won one election in 30 years by the popular vote. You know what I'm saying? And then he wants to. I'm not talking about the electoral college. I'm just saying people in numbers. Like, if Hillary won or beat him by Trump by 3 million votes, if and then Gore beat Bush by some votes, or Obama beat whoever by some votes, and then Trump loses by 3 million, and then let's not put a name on the person. Let's just talk about, those ideologies. No drugs and this and that. Go to jail. No freedom. So suppress brown and black people, whatever, right?
We love our cops. Don't we love our cops, Brandon? We love our cops.
Yeah, right? And then you lose by 7 million, and you got all the votes you could possibly squeeze out a monkey's ass for that, and you're still asking for 11,670. Or what the fuck ever he was asking for in Georgia.
Yeah.
Like, they could just shit those votes. But a majority of America want freedoms too. But a lot of people just think about, I want freedom to own a gun. Everybody talks about freedom. Everybody wants freedom. You know what I'm saying? But it is so, I don't know. It's going
well, the question is, do they want freedom? Do they want freedom for everyone, or they just want freedom for themselves?
Yeah, well, it's for themselves, Mox. That's it.
Yeah.
Because it's real simple for a neighbor to get mad if someone is smoking weed in their garage, right?
Yeah.
And they be like, I want to call the cops. That has nothing to do with you. It's my freedom.
Well, yeah, I look at this abortion thing the same way. People will be like, oh, it's my freedom to try and save babies. It has nothing to do with you. You want to save a baby? Go adopt a baby. But don't fuck with these people who don't want a baby. It's already this super heartbreaking fucking decision that they're making, and then you want to make them feel worse on top of it, and it has absolutely nothing to do with you.
Mom, you just gave me a fucking bit for a joke. Here you go. If you don't want abortions, then you need to go and sign up for a registry, right, at a bar. And you are going to be called a reviewer. Meaning, when a man meets a woman in a bar and they go fuck, you are watching. And you have to tell him when to pull out. Okay?
Or make sure that they're wearing a condom.
Okay, well, but what I'm saying, they're not wearing condoms when they get pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, you have to tap the guy on the shoulder. Hey, your left pinky is jerking. Pull out now.
Yeah.
Pull out now. Abort. Right? I mean, if you're at, but then when the baby's born, you bitch about the kid being on free lunch.
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's lots of kids that need a home, and these people want to be like, oh, there's 86 million babies aborted in the last 20 years, and I'm like, yeah, do you want 86 million unwanted babies that you can whine about them?
They're gonna be kind of heathen because they're not, and a lot of these people can't afford a child to begin with because they don't get paid enough.
Right.
Or either they got a criminal record because they, smoke weed, right? So they can't get a good job. And then on top of that, the fucking factory and textile jobs are gone from America.
Right.
So how can they provide and take care of the baby, feed the baby, and then you're going to look down upon those people when that woman or that man pulls out an ETB card,
right?
Or they get a supplement like Section 8 for housing. You're going to look down on them. So,
most people are having trouble making ends meet before the baby.
Yeah. Look, listen. My mother-in-law has, my mother-in-law had 4 sets of twins.
Wow.
Okay? You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Freaking nature, right?
And twins will, one set of twins will drive you absolutely insane. I can't imagine what 4 sets of twins would do to a person.
Yeah, but her first 2 sets died because of technology, no ultrasounds. It was back in the day. So she has 4 other daughters, and they're all twins, 2 sets of twins. So my wife is a twin.
Huh.
And my mother-in-law, man, I think I can't even count how many nieces and nephews I got. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? They all got a daddy, and they all black. You know what I'm saying? And, they all go to church. And I got one nephew I'm really proud of because he's a Taekwondo guy. So every time he goes for like another belt, they always live streaming. We cheer him on. You know what I'm saying?
Nice, yeah, that's awesome.
I got 3 that's over 21. I mean, that's out of high school doing their own thing. Ain't nobody getting in trouble. But what I'm getting at is it is hard to have a child, to bear a child, to raise a child, and to take care of something when you know you can't afford it. It's like that car note you got, and you got to squeeze that booger out of George Washington's nose just to get by to the end of the month. Yeah, that's what it's like.
And then, that's what I'm saying is that's where most people are already, and then they put a kid on top of that, and it's not, again, that they don't want that. It's just it's not a reality. It's not like an option. What are we supposed to do?
Yeah, like not everybody's married to someone who makes very good money. And hey, baby, stay home, take care of the baby. I'll pay all the bills. We'll be fine. There's not a lot of families like that in America anymore. So therefore, one person can't stay home. But I know with this last bill that just passed, I think they're going to give like a child tax credit, like $3,000+ per kid or some shit like that.
Right on.
And it's not going to be at the end of the year, they said. They said they're going to make it like every quarter.
Wow.
So, and they're going to, yes. Meaning, I think they said, what the Democrats said was, like, a lot of people have a big family, and they have to wait for the end of the year for their tax credit for their child, right?
Uh-huh.
So why don't we give it to them throughout the year?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because that's going to help out with what? Daycare, child care, you know what I'm talking about, like clothes.
I imagine there's an endless list there, Brandon. I don't actually know what you're talking about, but I imagine it's an endless list of things. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're talking to a man with 5 kids, man.
Yeah, so that means you're gonna get a bunch of big checks in the mail then, right? You said $3,000. You said $3,000 per kid. That sounds pretty good, man. I need to have 5 kids too. Damn it.
Well, hey, listen. listen, then this is what you do. You go be a reviewer, and you say, blow that load, buddy, and I'll adopt the baby. You know what I'm saying? Pull out. I'll adopt the baby. But it's not worth it. There's so much to raise a child, man.
Well, I mean, I imagine that you don't honestly feel that way, but I
No, I don't. No, I don't.
For myself, I don't want to be responsible for someone else. I can barely be responsible for myself, and that's the way I've always seen it.
And guess what?
Yeah.
That's your decision.
Yeah.
And if a woman has that same decision, and she goes, well, I don't want that responsibility, but you know, so it is what it is. And listen, if someone is religious that's listening, at the end of the day, they have to deal with the man upstairs. It's none of your fucking business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's none of your fucking business. It's their decision, and that's fucking it. You know, but so many people, again, freedom, control.
Yeah.
You know, it's like people who are like, get a puppy, and then you go to their house about 6 weeks later, and there's no puppy. You're like, what happened to the puppy? Man, she was pissing shit everywhere, so I gave her away. I'm like, you bitch. You know, like, you couldn't, like, did you know the responsibility you was accepting with taking a puppy? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know. See, I know that one very well. Yes, I do.
Me too. Yeah, remember back in the day, before PP pads, it was newspapers?
No. You can't do that with the dog. I guess maybe if you don't have an option, but to leave him in the house alone. But if you teach a dog to piss, on a pee-pee pad or newspapers or whatever, they're always gonna think it's okay to pee in the house. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Hey, listen, I have a Pomeranian. She's about 8 months old now, so she's real small.
What color?
She's black, and
nice.
Her chest is white, right?
Awesome.
And we got papers on her. You know, she's a legit bitch. You know what I'm saying?
What's her name?
And you ready for this?
Yeah.
Her name is Ruby Roxanne.
Nice. Roxanne!
Right? Ruby Roxanne. So, but when we let her outside, and we have a wooden fence, she tried to, get through and she'll get away. So we bought this collar to put around her neck that you inflate. And now she can go outside and play, and she can't, squeeze through the fence.
Right on. And she doesn't mind the collar? The collar doesn't, she's not, trying to get the collar off the whole time?
She knows that she can't, again, she's a puppy. And her nose goes crazy when she goes outside. You see her nose moving like a fox. I have a fox face Pomeranian. There's 3 different types of Pomeranian. Teddy bear Pomeranian, a fox face, and something else. Maybe want to look. Yeah, so I have a fox face Pomeranian, like a narrow nose.
Yeah.
And literally, she acts like a fucking fox, bro. Her nose goes crazy. but when I let my big dog out, Quinn, and I picked that inflatable. It's like the thing you put around your neck when you're on an airplane. It's something like that, right? You blow it up and you put it on her neck and you just strap it in there.
Yeah.
Dude, she gets so excited. She goes fucking ballistic because she knows she's gonna be outside, running the fuck around. And ever since we got that collar on her, it's regulated all her bathroom stuff and everything like that, because we was using the PP pad.
Yeah.
Now we ain't got to use it no more. Because at the time she was so small and we let her outside, I'm jumping over fences, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Chasing her for, dude, she's a runner, man.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. But yeah. But that collar works out very fucking well, man.
You gotta teach him. You gotta teach him what the words cheeseburger means, and then if they decide to go out the door, you say cheeseburger, and they turn right back around. If they know what the word cheeseburger means, they're not running away anymore.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, but again, it's just responsibility, and some people just don't want that responsibility. That's why some people never buy a house. They don't want to be tied to a location or a mortgage or a commitment when they can say, you know what, fuck it, when my lease is up, I'm moving across town.
Yeah.
Deuces, and that's it.
Yeah, I told a story last night, Brandon, about why I didn't get a dog, 20 years ago or whatever, when I moved into a new apartment, especially that allowed dogs in downtown Seattle, so I could get a dog. And because I was just, my whole life at that point was just going from one party to the next, and I thought the dog could be with me all the time. He'd be a very happy dog, you know, lots of girls, lots of people.
Oh yeah.
I would go to a party, and what happened is I got a practice dog, which was a stuffed animal, and I would go to a party, and the dog, the stuffed animal, was named Slut. So I'm carrying this stuffed animal around with me, and I'd go to a party, and I'd be, you know, getting comfortable at the party, and next thing I knew, I couldn't find the stuffed animal. I'm like, Slut! Where's Slut? And I realized it was very buzz harshening, and I don't like my buzz harshed, you know. So I was like, better not get a dog. I don't want my dog to be the source of my buzz being harshed. So I'm not gonna do that.
Well, let me ask this: what is your take on getting dogs spayed and neutered?
No, don't do that.
Yeah, like we adopted my big dog. He was 6 months, and he ain't got no balls. I feel so bad for him. But Ruby Roxanne,
Yeah, I think that number one, I think the hormones make a big difference in their life. Like
especially in male dogs, it does.
I think in both. Honestly, I think probably in both males and females, and I think that's partially why there is a cancer epidemic amongst the canines, is because they don't have the proper hormones to fight this stuff off. You know what I mean? It's been altered and that. And
oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, man.
I would recommend against it. Wilco was telling me that the vet told him that you know, if he just neuter his dog, that the dog, I guess he has a little bit of aggressive tendencies towards other dogs. He said that she told him, or his vet told him, that would stop. And I'm like, no, dude. If you get the dog neutered,
more work.
If you get the dog neutered,
not fair.
They become afraid of other dogs. And then they become defensive. So they see a big dog coming their way, they're like, "Arr!" And you can see that at the doggy park, because you know when Rufus goes to the doggy park, the other dogs will be like, "Who the fuck you think you are?" And he just walks away, you know. But that's because he knows who he is. He's the king of the fucking park, nigga. You never seen nothing like this before, have you?
Yeah, right. Balls, baby, balls. You know, because, like, my dog is like that, a big dog, and he's mixed with Lab and Bull Mastiff. So, you know, he's not that tall, but he has a really big head, you know, and you know, and he has that problem. If he sees another dog, it's an instant growl.
Yeah.
You know, and so like,
that's why I told Wilco. I said this is gonna upset him about other dogs, and you know there used to be. There was this person, one of my neighbors, and she had a corgi, right? And it's kind of a small corgi. And
that's what my wife wants.
Yeah, and it was a female corgi, and her name's Molly. And I'm like, hi, Molly, hi, Molly. And then they got another one who was like even smaller than Molly, and it was Benji. It was a boy, right? And it was just as lovable as Molly. And then they got him neutered, and every time he gets near me, he just starts barking his ass off. You know, and I mean, I was just loving on him, you know, days before that. It just, it's messed up, dude. I think it's a very bad idea.
Yeah, that's how I feel too, man. Like, if whenever me and my wife talk about getting another dog, I said, listen, if we get another dog, we're gonna pick the mama out while she's pregnant, and we're gonna pay for it. You know, and I'm like, I don't want them touching nothing on this dog. So I went and got Ruby Roxanne. I drove about 2 hours in Missouri to get my baby. That's what I called her. And yeah, man, she's the shit, bro.
Yeah, I hear you.
She got a little sassy. Her attitude.
Yeah, I hear you. You know, there's all these quirky things about them. People don't understand how much they're just like people. You know.
They sure are, man.
Yeah, and the truth.
Listen.
The truth is
go ahead.
A lot of people, they say, oh, they're not people, and that may be true, but if you treat them like people, they live a lot longer. That's the fact, Jack.
They will die for you, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. They will like die for you. You know, they're like Ruby follows me everywhere I go.
Yeah.
You know, period. It doesn't matter, man. If I go to the bathroom, I shut the door, she'll lay right there.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever. You know,
yeah, I was downstairs.
and
I was downstairs watching kung fu movies till 6 a.m. in the morning, and Rufus is laying right at my feet the whole time. I said, I'm gonna go to bed, and he goes right up the stairs and goes to my room. You know.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what's your favorite kung fu movie?
Okay, so I was talking about, I was just talking about Romeo Must Die, right? And I don't know if you remember the scene, but there's this scene with Aaliyah, and is that how you pronounce her name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And there's a girl, right? And he punches this girl. She's got a mask on. Jet Li punches her and rips her mask off and realizes it's a girl. And he's like, I can't punch girls. I can't hit women. And he grabs Aaliyah and he just starts punching her, right? I love that. And it's a scene straight from a movie called Dirty Ho. And Dirty Ho is a Gordon Liu movie, and Gordon Liu is like legendary kung fu star from the 70s, and he actually was the kung fu choreographer for the Kill Bill movies, and he's in the Kill Bill movies in a couple of scenes. But there's so many good movies, Brandon. It's real. I love. You know the movie Kung Fu Hustle? You know that one?
Oh, the best part of that movie is when the landlady smacked him and his flip-flop flies in the air.
I love that movie, dude.
Me and my wife, I bought that movie like when it first came out on DVD.
Yeah.
So it didn't make the theaters, right?
Yeah.
And I put it in. I'm like, okay, and me and her, and we weren't even married yet. We're laying in bed, and when she smacked his ass with a roller in the hair and a cigarette, and he did like a cartwheel, and his flip-flop flew in the air, I said, holy shit, this is gonna be hilarious.
Yeah, I absolutely love that movie, dude. I try and watch it at least once a year.
Dude, listen, man. I'm telling you, that whole movie is so funny. But let me ask you this.
Let me tell you, the star of that movie and the director of that movie is named Stephen Chow, which you probably already know because you own that DVD.
Uh-huh.
He made a movie called The Monkey King. I'm pretty sure it's a Monkey King movie. It's called Journey to the West. Okay, there's Journey to the West Part 1 and Journey to the West Part 2. But Journey to the West is directed and written by Stephen Chow, and it's another great movie. And it stars, I don't know, this girl named Shu Wei. Her name's Shuqi. I pronounce it Shui, because and she's great. She was in the first Transporter movie. You know those movies with Jason Statham.
Yeah, okay.
She's basically the star of this movie, Journey to the West. Stephen Chow. It's fucking great, dude. I'm sure you'll love it.
Hey, okay. So, last question, and I'll get off. Do you think Bruce Lee could kick Chuck Norris's ass?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Bruce Lee.
Me too.
Yeah, Bruce Lee had this legendary 1-inch punch. Have you ever heard about that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you stepped up on Bruce Lee, it'd be like the biggest mistake of your life, because he'd just go like this with his 1-inch punch, and you'd be hitting the wall 10 feet behind you. Go ahead.
You know, I watched a couple of documentaries because like in the early '80s, I was born in '76, so you have these like all these knockoff and these stories about Bruce Lee or what the fuck ever, or Elvis Presley, because they all died in the '70s, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if it wasn't for Bruce Lee, there would be no karate schools across America. You know what I'm saying? He made that stuff to where it was so like everyone wanted to learn it. You know, whether it be
he made it a lot more mainstream for Americans. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, And he took a lot of shit for it.
No doubt about it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he had to leave the Hong Kong, theater, cinema, and those people are really tight. You bail out on them, and you're not coming back. So.
Well, but what is America? America's a melting pot. We have everybody's culture, right?
Yeah.
And we're thirsty for culture, correct?
And if you work hard in America, almost anybody can make it, And there was no doubt about the fact that he worked really hard on what he was doing.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, if you look at his students, like who? Listen, if Bruce Lee's 5'7" or 5'8" or however tall he was, right? Who in the hell can teach Kareem Abdul-Jabbar 7'6" or whatever, how to throw a crescent kick? A side kick, much less, right?
Yeah.
Because but anyway, but that's all I want to ask you. I agree with you. I think Chuck Norris would have got his ass whooped, and if you look at all Chuck Norris movies, he had to have a gun.
And I always hate that. That's one of the things I hated about Jackie Chan movies the most is when he does this. He's a master. Jet Li's a master. Bruce Lee's a fucking master. Jet Li was Chinese kung fu champion at national champion at 19. Okay, there's nobody faster in the land. And when you see him fucking pull a gun out, it's just like so sad, And again, that's why I like the movies that are set in ancient China. And I want to make this real clear. Before there was times of guns and before there was times of automobiles, because in those movies, there's this magic where this one guy can stand up against 20, 30, 50 other guys. But if those guys had guns, there's just no fucking way,
Yeah, man. I mean, you're absolutely right. Like, I got addicted to like all those kung fu movies, Five Deadly Venoms. I remember my mom used to tell me, because we go to church on Sunday, right? And she'd be like, listen, if you put anything before God, God's going to take it away from you. And the whole damn time in church, Mark, I'm like, damn, I'm missing Sunday Kung Fu Theater.
The black belt theater, baby. I remember it well.
Yeah. Hey, dude, TV broke.
Yeah. Dude.
Went out. And I was like, well, God's real. That's what the moment I was like, man, I'm walking around. And I know there's a lot of jokes about having two TVs, one to look at and one for volume, because both of them are broke. I swear on everything. That's what I had when I lived in California, South Carolina, man. I had a TV on one side, a TV on another, and we had to like turn, because there were like 3 or 4 channels back then, right?
Yeah.
It's real simple. But I was like, I'm never going to put nothing before God again. And I'm like, man, TV's crashed out. Because I would be in church like, man, come on, let's get out of here. I'm hot. I want to take these clothes off. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Kung Fu Theater.
It's just uncomfortable in church. Everybody's kind of pretend,
Yeah, yeah, man. But I was like, wow, my mama was right. Don't put nothing before God. That TV went out, man. I was so mad. Yeah, but yeah, man. But look, man, great show. Enjoyed talking to you, man, and you take care, all right?
All right, Brandon. I look forward to talking to you too again very soon. Okay. Hey, dude, they got medical marijuana in your state?
Yes, they did pass it. There's a dispensary, maybe 2 miles away, but I just haven't did my license yet. We got to have a license to go in there, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it next week.
Yeah. The question is, can you grow? Can you grow like 2 or 3 or 4 plants if you have your own thing? Because
I believe if you have a license, I think it's 3 plants. Off the top of my head, I'd have to look it up. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let me know if you want a couple of seeds. Okay.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, man.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah. I'll let Craig know.
Yeah, well, again, I find out and make sure it's legal, and when you get your license, you let me know.
All right, boss, man. You take care.
Okay, bro. It's good to hear from you. Talk to you soon.
All right. You too.
And that's our buddy 2 Bronze Star Brandon. I'm gonna play a quick video here for you about Russia and China joining forces to create a base on the moon. Did you guys hear about this? I don't know, but I thought you should.
Developing now, China and Russia planning to team up and build a space station on the moon. The two countries signing an agreement launching the project today. Russia and China say the base will be used for scientific research, adding other countries are welcome to join that partnership. They haven't said when the base will be finished.
A warning for people who get their COVID-19 vaccine shots in a major pharmacy chain. While they may be helping you stay protected against coronavirus, Lily Ortiz reports on what it could mean for your personal information.
If you get a vaccine at CVS or Walgreens, don't think you are all clear after that second shot. A local tech expert says that these pharmacies that administer vaccines come with a valuable perk, thanks to the information you share during the registration process. Retail stores like CVS and Walgreens play a big role in vaccine administration. Millions of people have since created a patient profile to book an appointment online. Sensitive information beyond just an email and a cell phone number are required during the registration process. Tech expert Craig Agronoff says these chains are taking advantage of using vaccinations to boost sales.
Your foot traffic is invaluable to them. They know if you're going to come and get the vaccine there, more than likely you're going to pick up milk or you're going to pick up something else that you need on the way out, and therefore they have you there.
But where does your sensitive information go? CVS Health tells CBS 12 News they never share medical records for promotional purposes. But according to the Wall Street Journal, the retailer will keep a patient's email or phone number in an effort to stay in touch with vaccine recipients even after their second shot and use their data for marketing.
A lot of them are having you sign up for their loyalty program without you even knowing. And then they can start tracking you and the purchases that you're making, because every item that you buy in that store is being tracked via that little rewards card.
According to the report, Walgreens automatically collects information after a visitor signs up, including their real-time location and a computer IP address. And if you're using a company's app, Agronoff urges consumers to make sure your location settings are off.
Sometimes they're even tracking your purchases and where you are in the aisles using these little beacons that communicate via Bluetooth with your phone to see where you are, so they can track people's movements through the stores to see where they go and what they're looking for.
And Agronoff advises to use what he calls a throwaway email to sign up, one that you don't really use. And before sharing your cell phone information, be sure to look at whether it's optional. It's not always mandatory. In downtown West Palm Beach, I'm Lily Ortiz, CBS 12 News.
Lily, thank you. More
Sometimes life can be a little overwhelming. Sometimes the weight of the world can be too much to bear. Sometimes you need to stop worrying and take a deep breath. Sometimes you need cannabis. Introducing Brightside, high-quality cannabis delivered right to your door. Brightside offers an extensive menu of strains and products to meet your needs. Choose the experience you want, and we'll send you the dankest herb, the real sticky icky, some top-shelf marijuana. If you like what we send you, keep the whole jar. We'll even include some nugs for you to blaze. As part of Discovery, you'll get to try new strains and products. Side effects may include euphoria, increased appetite, uncontrollable giggles, elevated sensitivity to musical dopeness, and reduced anxiety. Tetrahydrocannabinol may also induce feelings of existential well-being and relentless optimism. With a Brightside subscription, you can get it once a month, once a week, or whenever you want, all at a price you'll like. And yes, this is a real company.
Do you know who I am?
You're the wizard.
Ask your doctor if cannabis is right for you. It probably is. Keep it Brightside.
All right, so I thought there was a couple good stories there. The story about the Russia and China joint. I guess it's a joint operation to build a base on the moon. There's not a lot of there to the story, but I'm sure that you can find out more about it. From what I understand, in 2019, Russia was going to December of 2019, China was going to take a manned moon mission. And I kept waiting to hear something about that and waiting to hear something about that. And I never heard anything about China's manned mission to the moon. And I know it was 2019. It might have been 2020, but it wasn't 2020 because that was the year of plague and this kind of thing you remember. So it was December of 2019, I believe, in which China was going to make a manned mission to the moon. And I never heard anything about it. And you guys know this is what I do. So, let's see. Again, and the other story about the vaccine, getting the vaccines at the CVC and the Walmart. On top of everything else, if it wasn't bad enough already, they're using your personal info basically against you. Which is not unusual. Everyone should probably expect that at this point. But, it's supposed to be private when it's dealing with medical stuff. It's not supposed to be, this is added on to your normal, we're keeping track of your medical stuff now. That's it's supposed to be very private, and if they're adding it to other list, it doesn't seem right. So I thought you guys might want to know that too. It seems, again, like an important story. I'm not just here wasting your time, people. And I have an interview with the Portland police chief about what's okay when it comes to protesting and what's not okay when it comes to protesting, and why there's so many more people getting murdered this year because you're not doing your job. And I have a video about somebody who's killing crows. They're driving their car, and it's a red pickup truck, and they're driving it, and they pause on a street and they see a crow, and they pull out a gun and they shoot the crow in the head. And this, from what I see, looks like practice to me. This is a practiced runs for something much more sinister, would be my guess. So I have a video about the George Floyd trial. Oh man, we got so many fucking videos to do still. What is going on? Oh, I have the one Kennedy going after Hillary Clinton. And burning mask, the burning mask video. We have so many videos to do still, people. So if you want to call, the number is 805-669-6397. I will be happy to take the call. Until then, I'm going to play videos and load up another bong hit, and hopefully you'll want to have a discussion sometime in the near future. So, let's see. Let's do Kennedy. That sounds good. Let's do Kennedy.
She is a gift and a treasure, and we certainly don't deserve her. She's like a lady Santa Claus, a whining, harping fat guy in a suit who won't stop yapping about her sole obsession until the day she leaves this earth. Donald Trump. Hillary won't go away. Yay! She can't let go of the 2016 election. It was a layup, and she lost spectacularly. And the man who's no longer in office, he haunts her dreams, every waking thought. And as long as she won't let go, well, neither will I. She was waxing pathetic, blathering on and on in some dumb Washington Post live interview that started with a disingenuous screed about the Republican Party.
I'm hoping, as I said earlier, that the Republican Party will find its soul, will find its center again, and understand they can't keep playing with fire.
Lady, you want them to play with fire so badly, you bought them a flamethrower. Republicans are her enemy, and don't take it from me. Remember this gem from a 2016 presidential debate?
You've all made a few people upset over your political careers. Which enemy are you most proud of?
Well, in addition to the NRA, the health insurance companies, the drug companies, the Iranians, probably the Republicans.
Of course, she made her way to the object of her obsession in the interview. Number 45 is still alive, and he killed her presidential hopes.
It is really troubling to see the Republican Party turn themselves into a cult and, basically pledge allegiance not to the United States of America, but to Donald Trump. Something I do not understand. I cannot accept.
That's the best part. She'll never accept it. She'll just keep muttering to herself about the human tornado who blew her political house down as she sifts through the toothpicks of her life that never was and mutters curse words between coughing fits. She's talking about a cult. Her little motto was, "I'm with her," because she has boobies. The thing that really grinds her gears, though, other than knowing Biden got 15 million more votes than she did, proving she really was the problem, is that she'll never be president. And there's a chance he still might again. She must have tiny feet and an awfully big mouth because she continues to stick her foot in that gaping cavern, still never really able to answer the burning question that consumes her like napalm. What happened? And that's the memo. Hillary also claims former President Trump, quote, never accepted the awesome responsibility that goes with being president. Well, why can't she accept the responsibility of the fact she's a two-time loser who, yes, will never be president? The party panel is back. Emily Compagno, Stephen L. Miller, Leslie Marshall. Leslie, I love it so much because she won't go away, and every time she rears out of the ground like an angry mole, I just have to pay her some lip service.
Well, I happen to like Mrs. Clinton, as you know.
You're with her.
Look, Hillary's not. Wait a minute. Hillary's not going to go away, nor should she? Because Republicans constantly love to invoke her and her husband's name. I think that more than Hillary saying Donald Trump, Republicans say Hillary. Everything's Hillary. If it's not Hillary or Bill Clinton, it's Barack Obama. They constantly in the Republican Party want to go back. She has a First Amendment right to speak. She's still a force and a great fundraiser for the Democrats. She's not going away. She's not going away, and I don't want her to.
Straw man. Let him take a nap. All right. So Stephen L. Miller, what advice do you have for Hillary Clinton? What should she do in her post-presidency or her non-presidency?
Yeah, I was gonna say nothing because she isn't president. I guess whatever. I guess sick burns on podcasts and on Twitter are a close second when you're the person who lost to Donald Trump. I mean, I don't have a problem with her saying that the GOP, she hopes the GOP finds its soul. I just hope that she finds the state of Wisconsin eventually.
Oh, she's so mad at Wisconsin. She blames Wisconsin. She blames Obama. It's like if Obama had come out and just talked about Russia disinformation in 2016, I would still be president. And I was looking at the vote totals. So Trump got 62 million in 2016. She got 65 million. Joe Biden got like 81 million, Emily. What does that say?
That she's not as popular as she thinks she is. No, I will say this. The saddest part to me, besides her being like the least evolved and least self-aware figure out there, is that she really is totally obliterating the platform she could have used for good. She really could have been a party unifier. She really could have exemplified elevating women's voices. She could be so much. And instead, she reduces herself to this embittered, battered figure that the reason that I think the Republican Party keeps bringing her up is because she keeps bringing herself up in that way. She has made herself so much smaller that I think it really is troubling to see someone squander that opportunity like that. And I don't think she's ever going to be satisfied. To your point, Kennedy, I really think she will go to the grave muttering Trump's name.
I know.
Your words, not mine.
And I don't have to say it, but I didn't vote for the guy. I didn't vote for him either time. I don't care that he's not president. I just think it's really funny that she's not president. And speaking of an actual queen, the queen.
Sometimes life can be a little overwhelming. Sometimes the weight of the world can be too much to bear. Sometimes you need to stop worrying and take a deep breath. Sometimes you need cannabis. Introducing Brightside, high-quality cannabis delivered right to your door. Brightside offers an extensive menu of strains and products to meet your needs. Choose the experience you want, and we'll send you the dankest herb, the real sticky icky, some top-shelf marijuana. If you like what we send you, keep the whole jar. We'll even include some nugs for you to blaze. As part of Discovery, you'll get to try new strains and products. Side effects may include euphoria, increased appetite, uncontrollable giggles, elevated sensitivity to musical dopeness, and reduced anxiety. Tetrahydrocannabinol may also induce feelings of existential well-being and relentless optimism. With a Brightside subscription, you can get it once a month, once a week, or whenever you want, all at a price you'll like. And yes, this is a real company.
Do you know who I am? You're the wizard.
Ask your doctor if cannabis is right for you. It probably is. Keep it Brightside.
Okay, so I have more videos, you guys. But I thought you might enjoy that. I even have another Kennedy video. I thought you might enjoy that. I have a video about the George Floyd trial. I have a video about the Seattle police budget cuts. Again, what I'm seeing is we're being told what is acceptable free speech. This is being said again and again. And this acceptable thing has nothing to do with what the police think. And the police just are acting like they can tell us how we're supposed to live our lives. And you know, if you're endangering other people, if you're shooting crows out of your car, maybe, you know, the police should be like trying to figure out who you are and what it is you're making happen. But if you're smoking some weed or growing flowers in the backyard, you know, who the fuck are you again, Mr. Officer Man? It's just out of control. Because what I'm hearing is, oh, you can't say this. Oh, you can't protest this way. Oh, the CDC says it's okay for you to hug people now. But only if you got the vaccine. If you got the vaccine, you can hug people. Again, I've told you guys repeatedly that when the UPS driver drives by me and the dog's walking, which we walk every day, when the UPS guy drives, he stops his truck and he gets out and gives me a hug. Says hi to the dogs. He's a very nice guy, and he's never wearing a mask. So I'm just telling you, I don't need anybody's permission to hug. And what I'm seeing is this intense programming going on. Like, it's like this Pavlovian thing where they say, it's okay for you to do that. And you're like, oh, it's okay, I can do it now. It's okay for you to be this way, for you to speak this way, for you to think that way. This is very dangerous. We don't need the government telling us what it's okay to do and what it's not okay to do. It's really not why they're here. I mean, they're here to protect our freedom to do the things that we want to do. That's why they're here. In fact, they have to take an oath to do just that in order to take a seat in Congress, putting their hand on their holy book, which I'm surprised that, you know, 3/4 of them don't immediately burst into flames upon doing so. It seems like that would be appropriate. Burning mass, killing crows. I'll go ahead and play the killing crows video for you because I believe it is... Again, if you know this person, this is the kind of thing that escalates if people aren't, you know, if you don't get them help. So please, if you know this person, contact the authorities and let them know who it is.
A disturbing situation has surfaced in Mount Lake Terrace. Someone in the area is killing crows. Police say the person is shooting them, in some cases during the middle of the day. KIRO 7's Ranji Sinha now with a woman who says this has been going on for weeks.
As soon as we found our way into this park, some people noticed us. At least one woman said she knew exactly why we were here. It's because of these crow killings. And many people in the surrounding neighborhood, she says, are very concerned about this. Some are also concerned that people might take this matter into their own hands.
The community's really, really upset about this. And
Sorry, what happened? God dang it. Where'd that go? Killing crows. Start again.
Disturbing situation has surfaced in Mount Lake Terrace. Someone in the area is killing crows. Police say the person is shooting them, in some cases during the middle of the day. KIRO 7's Ranji Sinha now with a woman who says this has been going on for weeks.
As soon as we found our way into this park, some people noticed us. At least one woman said she knew exactly why we were here. It's because of these crow killings. And many people in the surrounding neighborhood, she says, are very concerned about this. Some are also concerned that people might take this matter into their own hands.
the community's really, really upset about this. And I'm afraid of vigilanteism. I don't want a stray bullet to find my kid.
For Kel Denke, the unsanctioned killing of crows has become a cause. She knows her neighbors are finding dead crows around this neighborhood, crows that were shot and killed.
Dead crows being found have been found over by our elementary school.
Some cameras have caught images of the alleged shooter in a vehicle. Denke says drive-by shootings of crows are a situation that endangers birds and people.
I know they're only air pellets and all that. Honestly, who does this? That's the concerning thing is, who does this? Who goes out and shoots a defenseless animal?
Mount Lake Terrace police say they're investigating and said the crow killings are against both local and state laws.
We've had some witnesses state that it appears to be someone driving around in a red Ford pickup truck with a canopy that appears to be shooting at several of these crows.
Crow hunting season runs from September to December. Both police and residents in this neighborhood understand hunting can't happen from the driver's seat of a car at any time.
Anytime someone shoots, whether it's a pellet, BB gun, or a small caliber firearm, within a city where there's a lot of people around, obviously someone could get injured or killed.
Now the hope is to catch the crow killer before even more of the Mount Lake Terrace murder of crows are targeted.
There just seems to be no regard for anybody else. I'm just afraid somebody's going to get hurt.
Even though people in this neighborhood and surrounding areas are tracking these and mapping them, they're also telling people that if you see something or see someone trying to kill a crow, that you really should call 911. In Mount Lake Terrace, Ranji Sinha, KIRO 7 News.
All right, so again, the reason I put this video in there is I'm no big fan of crows. You know, I mean, I've had them swoop down and try and take my hat off before for whatever reason. But I love nature. I live in a rainforest, and I love all the little creatures of the rainforest. And the crows are definitely a big part of that. And the crows are so smart, right? I've seen the crows play games before. They play games with each other, you know, and they seem to be like a community where they're like, one of them goes, "Hey, everybody over here!" And they come from every direction, you know. It's very interesting. But the real problem is that when you see someone like this that is hurting harmless creatures, you know, I mean, okay, the crow swooped down and it took my hat. You know, it touched my hat when it swooped down. Oh my God, the crow pooped on me. You know, it's supposed to be lucky. What's wrong with you? Crows poop on you. You go to the casino. But I digress. When this is shown, this repeated pattern of you know, hurting defenseless animals, it's a sign of sick people, of someone who needs help, of someone who could do much more harm to someone that you might actually care about. So, you know, we can't have people like this running around. We need to make sure who they are if they are running around, because we see stuff all the time that's not right, And it may happen because of people like this. So, don't let somebody run around shooting birds. That's all I'm saying. Burning mask. No one's calling. Did I say that too? No one's calling. The number is 805-669-6397. 805-669-6397. 805 Mox News. Okay, so George Floyd trial. Let's do Portland Police Chief. Burning mask. Let's do burning mask. Burning mask I like. It reminds me of burning books, and it also reminds me of freedom, and it also reminds me of anarchy, and it also reminds me of, questioning authority and, being seditious, right? This is the definition of seditious. Acts or speeches, acts or speech that makes others question the authority of the government. So when you see people burning masks, in my opinion, this is an act of sedition. And you hear this again, thrown around again and again, the word sedition when it comes to the January 6th thing. But I think acts of sedition are really much simpler than that, like burning masks, like saying, does the government really have a place here or not? And making other people question the authority of the government. I love it. So I highly encourage acts of sedition and do my best to regularly do them where many people are available to hear and enjoy them. Hopefully be encouraged to create and perform their own acts of sedition. That being said, burning masks is a good plan. I think we should have rallies where we all burn masks. It's much better than burning books, don't you? Don't you think? I mean, that's where Amazon's coming from. We can't sell Dr. Seuss books.
Jumping across the country now to Idaho, where anti-mask activists over the weekend set fire to face coverings by the handful right outside the state capitol. A rally organizer saying infection numbers in the state just don't justify a mandate. In fact, joining us now is that organizer's spouse, State Representative Dorothy Moon. So, Representative Moon, a burning question here, if you will. Masks have been a critical part of this fight, perhaps the most important piece of PPE, especially early on. Why set them on fire?
Well, Joe, I think that folks here in Idaho, we're not dealing with the issue of COVID is pretty much flat. And we just our kids want to get back into school, and our folks want to get back to work, and the masks need to go. I mean, we have restrictions here in Boise. I'm up here for 3 months for legislative session. I don't go into the grocery stores, and I don't go into the restaurants. I drive all the way up north to my district to go hit a grocery store because I won't put a mask on. I haven't yet, and I'm not going to start. And that's pretty much the attitude of a lot of the freedom and liberty loving folks of Idaho, and that's why I love representing this state.
So is there a line, I think, that critics would point out here, that there's a fine line between freedom and responsibility, and have you crossed it at all?
Joe, I don't think so. I think the fact of the matter is that we just don't have the numbers. We have had 1,900 deaths in total in a population of 1.8 million. The numbers are just low. And, this has been going on for over a year, and people are ready to get back to work. Most of them are working, but they want to work without the restrictions of having to wear masks. And even if you have a medical condition, you still are forced to wear masks. If you get the vaccine, you're still forced to wear masks. So I guess a lot of folks are just wondering, when is it going to end? Well, if you've had COVID, you have COVID, you have to wear too.
Right, exactly. So that was my point. I mean, it's still early in this thing. Did you think it's disrespectful because a lot of people still feel like they are important and needed, and you're burning them?
Well, it's their option. They have a right. If they're a medically compromised situation or they're elderly, they should go ahead and wear a mask if that's what they want to do. But now a lot of our seniors over 65, 50% have already received the vaccine. So I guess, Joe, when do we reach herd immunity? I mean, are we ever going to reach it, or is that an unattainable, option? Because all I see right now in most of our citizens just keep watching this emergency order continually roll over. over every 30 days.
Well, the answer to that, I'm assuming, would be the vaccinations and how many people in the end get them. State Representative Dorothy Moon, we appreciate you joining us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
That one's stuttering. They're stuttering a little bit. It slows everything down when they stutter. So I have videos left, you guys, but I don't really do this just for the play videos. Although I think that generally speaking, the videos are pretty good. I actually work to try and find stuff that is worthy of you guys' time. Otherwise, you know, what's the point? I'm not here to waste your time. I don't like the idea of that. I believe your time is very valuable, and that's really why I try and, you know, talk about things that I think are again, valuable enough for you to spend your time listening to them. Because I think that's your most valuable resource. Beyond whatever else, you know, unless you have like family and all that in your house, you know, I think time is all we really have. So, or actually the most important resource we have. So, what was I saying here? Oh, right, I remember. If anybody wants to call, the number is right there on the screen, 805-669-6397. Please don't hesitate to call. Otherwise, I've got more videos for you. Portland Police Chief talking about what it's okay, how it's okay to protest and how it's not okay to protest, and what it means to them getting their budget cut. They're what? By $32 million. Oh my God, it's like 10%. How much is your fucking budget for Portland? Are you serious? But Seattle is also facing budget cuts, Seattle police. And I just think it's hilarious them talking about this like it's the end of the world. And crime is just going out of control. But it's not like that wasn't doing that before and they weren't really doing anything about it. And it was just getting worse and worse. And now they're saying, oh, it's getting worse. It was always getting worse and worse.
Developing today, the Seattle City Council is weighing more cuts for the police department. Another $5 million is what's at stake. And you'll remember this proposal was shelved a few weeks ago, but the intent of the original bill was as a consequence for SPD overspending in their 2020 budget. Now, it's important to know the Seattle Police Department is still under a federal consent decree. And the last time more cuts had been discussed, there were concerns about how continued cuts could impact the department's ability to provide constitutional sound policing. And so today, when SPD provided their own presentation to the committee, they laid out a pretty dire picture about the impact another cut could have.
If moving forward, the department is expected to meet ever-evolving demands while confronting significant reduced staffing, now indexed to matching reductions in available budget, the SB will have to say no to requests for service, some things we've already had to do this year. And I'm very concerned based on what I hear when I speak with officers and what I read when I review their exit interviews. The continued cuts to the budget, especially those not matched to efforts to reduce immediate demands of the department, will only continue to drive further staffing losses.
Well, some of the critical impacts include 911 call response times. SPD says the goal is 7 minutes for a priority 1 call, and those calls are the active life or death emergency situations. So that would include rape, shots fired, and domestic violence. The goal is for officers to arrive within 7 minutes of that 911 call, but that's not happening. On average in 2020, SPD says it took officers 9.5 minutes, and they say those extra 2.5 minutes could be the difference between life and death. Also in 2020, the police department says they spent 221 days in priority status, and that's because they say they're so overrun and understaffed, they can only report to priority 1 or priority 2 calls. Right now, Seattle police believe they're short 158 patrol officers. And the mayor's office is worried that more cuts will lead to more departures, which will result in slower response times. Mayor Durkin spoke with Q13's Brandy Cruz about that situation this afternoon.
I'm really hopeful that they don't do it. We've been working with them and asking at the end of last year, we asked them not to proviso money of about the same amount. We've been asking them not to restrict SPD's ability to be innovative with its funding to kind of fill some of these gaps. And with this, let's wait. Let's make sure that we rebuild the police department that we need as we also build those alternatives. Let's just not keep cutting in order to cut. Let's be thoughtful. So I'm hoping a more reflective council will decide that is a better approach.
Well, the Public Safety Committee says they hope to develop amendments for the bill by March 16th.
All right, guys, I'm running out of videos, but I'm not out yet. So I can play more because we don't have callers, and I came to play videos and talk with people and smoke fat dabs. And I'm running out of videos and there's not any callers. So if what I'm doing here is playing videos and smoking fat dabs, I guess what we'll do next is play a video and smoke a fat dab. All right? Callers?
We started the broadcast tonight with a note from Portland, Oregon, a place near and dear to my heart. Spent a lot of time there. The city's been racked with protests, though, over the past year, and now a spike in violent crime as they try to divert police funds to community resources. We're joined now by the deputy chief in Portland there, Chris Davis. Chief, we appreciate you being with us. Let's start with how much money the city shifted away from the police budget and where it came from.
Well, we lost a total of $27 million from the budget for the fiscal year that we're in now, so beginning July 1 of 2020. And that was a combination of budget cuts across city bureaus in response to really unprecedented drops in city revenue, and then some other cuts that council made specifically directed at the police bureau.
We talked about the increase in the number of shootings, I believe up 2.5 times from the year before to 900 shootings. Do you attribute that to the shifting of this money?
I think it's a little bit of an oversimplification to say that the shift of the money caused the increase in shootings. I think it's a much more complex situation than that. I think, certainly a lack of resources in the police bureau is one factor in a much bigger picture.
So critics say there's a way, Chief, to allocate resources to protect the city and address these community concerns at the same time. What is the reality, in your opinion, on the street, practically?
Well, right now, they're really, we hear a lot about promising new ideas for alternatives to police to provide public safety services, but we have not seen a lot of evidence base for some of those ideas yet, although they might be good ideas. I think some of them still have a little bit of development that they need. And, one of our concerns is just that we're able to do something while we're always trying to find that next better way to provide public safety services. And it makes it harder when our resources are constrained like they are.
Right. And Portland faces a number of other unique challenges as well, Chief, including protesters who openly admit that they are ungovernable. What is the city doing about the protests that have continued there and the damage citywide?
So we have focused a lot of our efforts on investigation, including after the fact. Just because somebody isn't arrested the night of an incident where they break a window or set a fire doesn't mean that we aren't able to do follow-up. And we've had some success in making cases on some of these people and making arrests and referring them for prosecution. And then we've also, I don't want to give away too many of our secrets, but we've invested in a little different approach to policing these events as they happen, to focus more on taking those people who feel entitled to engage in criminal activity out of that crowd, while minimizing the effect to anybody who might be there actually exercising their First Amendment rights. But it's a pretty delicate balance to try to maintain.
Yeah, there's no question about that. People on the outside, Chief, who are watching what happens in Portland, unaware really of what's going on, I'm sure are asking the question, what are they upset about? What do they want? And in some cases, it certainly seems like they're not necessarily interested in changing the system. They're more interested in breaking the system.
Well, I think it's important to realize, and what I encourage people to do is not to refer to this really much smaller group of people bent on criminal activity as protesters. We have a long tradition of peaceful protest in Portland, and there's no problem with that. That's the legitimate exercise of people's First Amendment rights. What we're encountering here in Portland is a much smaller but very determined and very highly motivated group that has spent much of the last year now really gaining momentum and sharpening its tactics and improving at what it does. But at the end of the day, really, that's just straight up criminal activity and needs to be addressed as such. But I would always caution people not to make the mistake of equating this small group of people with a larger movement for social change or certainly change in the police profession. Those are two different groups.
Point well taken. Deputy Chief Chris Davis, again, we thank you for your time. Great to see you. Say hi to everyone back in Portland. I'll see you at Voodoo Donut, huh?
Right on. We'll see you.
All right. Coming up.
Don't know, Boo Bear. I thought I was going to get him with the laser. Thought, oh, I'll get the laser, and he'll be like, oh, I love the laser. I was like, oh, it's going up above me. Oh, my, there's the laser. Can you see it? Oh, it's all like green screening out. Can you see the laser? Oh, I love the laser. Boo Bear loves the laser. Girl loves the laser. I don't know what the deal with them is. You think they ate a bunch of marijuana or something, which they did not do, although they did have their CBD treats today. I don't know if that counts or not. So I have more videos. I can do this all night, people. I come prepared. Oh, but you know what? I heated up the bong too, so let's do that instead. You know what? I'm gonna heat it up just a little bit more. I might have talked too long. This cools down much faster than I expect it to. Or it feels like it does. I'm not sure that it does. I don't have a temperature gauge. But it feels like it does. So, you can't do it too hot. You do it too low. You don't get enough. How's that song go? Too much, you get too high. Not enough, and you're gonna die. Love makes you cry. I really needed that. All right, so let's see. I have a couple more videos. I have let's see, tonight's trash night. I gotta take the trash out, and I have to write a couple of emails. There's like a couple of seed banks that I have to talk to still about the summer garden, and then hopefully we'll be all done. And as far as I'll have more seeds than I can grow in this lifetime probably, but hopefully we'll have a beautiful summer garden that I can share the genetics with you guys, so you know what it is. And then if you want to grow along with Moxie, we can all garden this together this summer. Wouldn't that be fun? Everyone that can legally do it, that is. Because I'm not encouraging anyone to break the law or commit acts of sedition. Well, the acts of sedition part, maybe. Fuck the law. Fuck the police. Did I not make that fucking clear? I said, fuck the police. Okay? Oh, we love our cops. That's what a politician says. Okay? That's who the politicians are. Because they have to say that. Because the police protect them. If it wasn't for the police, a lot of them couldn't do what they do. Most of them couldn't do what they do. Just like the rest of the rich people. George Floyd. George. Oh, I have Kennedy. Let's do Kennedy. That was a good one. Since we're not getting any phone callers, the number is 805-669-6397. In case you'd like to call, the number is 805-669. It's right there on the screen, people. Just dial the fucking numbers.
Eli Manning is getting his own TV show on ESPN. If it's anything like his football career, it'll last 16 seasons, and only 2 of them will be worth watching. Then again, no matter how good his TV show is, he'll never be as fun to watch as Big Brother. Ha! That's the story of his life, and this is the topical storm. Topic number 1. A 500-person party at the University of Colorado, where they get rad in Boulder, ended with clashes between students and a SWAT team. Thousands of dollars in damages to police vehicles. In the students' defense, you gotta fight for your right to party, man. Police say a SWAT team was called in to break up the out-of-control blowout before students began pelting police officers with glass bottles and rocks. Community members say they're shocked because usually in Boulder, it's the students who get stoned. In the commotion, one car was overturned, a SWAT vehicle's windshield was cracked, and 3 police officers were injured, making this the most anti-police party since the Democrats. Defund those guys. Boulder police are now asking community members to send evidence of law breaking from the party to help them make arrests. And they say they've already received over 750 tips. Unfortunately, almost all of them came from the same 2 men, Mike Roch and Seymour Butts. Topic number 2. It is Mugshot Monday, and tonight we meet a perp who painted herself into a corner. An Alabama woman was arrested for stealing her neighbor's baby goat and turning it blue. Of course, she says she was just kidding around. Police say, oh, Erica, that's Erica Farmer. She took a goat from her neighbor's property, brought it back to her own house to show it to her daughter. Then she dyed its fur blue and green using food coloring, even though technically it won't be food for a few more months. Erica then took photos of the blue farm animal, posted them to social media. Her neighbor says that's what really got her goat. The goat has now been returned, and Erica has been charged with theft and animal cruelty. Erica says she's sorry. She never hurt the goat, and it was all just a harmless prank. But if you ask me, that joke was a little off color. That's bad. All right, topic number 3. Sailors from the Thai Royal Navy became viral heroes after rescuing 4 cats from a sinking ship. Gee, I didn't even know Harry and Meghan had 4 cats. We rescue everything, Margot. We're better than you. It all started after a fishing vessel caught fire and began sinking off the coast of Thailand, causing the humans on board to abandon ship, leaving 4 cats behind. The cats say they took no offense. They would have done the same thing, and in fact, they started the fire in hopes of cooking and eating the crew. The Thai Navy was called to inspect the wreckage when a sailor spotted the cats huddled together just minutes away from drowning. Witnesses say it was the most disturbing cat scene since the Taylor Swift remake. The sailors then swam to the wreckage and carried the cats to dry land on their backs, at which point the cats showed their tremendous gratitude by shrugging and walking away. All right, topic number 4. I still hate cats. A new report claims singles, are getting more likes on dating apps if their profiles say they've been vaccinated. It has led to a lot of confusion when users ask their matches to prove it by sending a prick pic. The dating app Tinder has reported a 258% increase in profile mentions of vaccines. Apparently, COVID is the only thing Tinder users won't risk getting. And insiders at the dating app OkCupid report 40% of its users say they would cancel a date with someone who wouldn't get the shot. You know what they say, couples that get stuck together stay together. If you ask me, this is nothing new. Guys always love it when women ask them to take body shots. Woo! The phenomenon has spawned a whole new genre of pickup lines such as, hey, do you have any Pfizer in you? Well, you want some? Or nice-looking vaccination card? Bet it would look better on my bedroom floor. And of course, the revamped classic, if I said I wanted your antibodies, would you hold them against me? We'll be right back for Mouse Trumpet Monday.
All right. I know some of you are going to try those pickup lines later, so good luck with that. Yes, I can't stop looking at her rat hole. You got that right. That's a tasty looking rat hole, baby. So I'm always glad to see her. I think she's very funny. I think she has some pretty good writers. I don't think she's doing that on her own. But I think she's pretty funny on top of it. And she does it, she reads it really, really well. And she comes across very entertaining. Unlike any of the other news people, they're just like, they just look like dead fish. Not that they shouldn't be not that they should be entertaining, but they're all basically, if you call them a news organization, they will tell you that it's not news, it's commentary, which means it is a form of entertainment. And but they're dead serious, about everything. Like, how dare you question anything that we say? Don't you know? And she, I don't know. She's funny. And she does have a pretty rat hole. A pretty tasty looking rat hole, no doubt about that. George Floyd trial? I don't know, people. I'm here. The lines are open. I'm happy to take your calls. I don't know what else I can do. I get here at the proper time each night. I am fulfilling my end of this contract. That's all I'm saying. And Mox News survives solely on contributions from good people like you. So, if you'd like to make a contribution to Mox News, it's easy to do. There's clickable links in the text body of this video, or you can go to moxnews.com. Should take just a minute or two, or there's actually links in the chat, and you can go whatever way. Oh, Craig also has found this Zelle, which is a bank-to-bank transfer, which seems to work very, very well. So if you want to do the Zelle, it seems to work very well. It seems to be very safe. Craig says basically all banks are using it. You sign into your online banking, and there's a button right there already that says Zelle. So, and where is that one? Where is that one? It should be right there. What happened to my Zelle thing? Well, I'll find it. I'll find it in a minute. But I guess we're going to play a video now, which will be George Floyd trial. The George Floyd trial juror selection has begun. So, again, it's going to get hot in Minneapolis because the judge is like disqualifying this, disqualifying that, and making sure that jurors understand all these qualifications, and it's gonna get nasty, I think, in Minneapolis. So this will be something that we're gonna pay a lot of attention to. We'll probably do some live cameras, and in the next few days in Minneapolis. So I want to make sure we prep for it, and then don't forget about the South Park show tomorrow, because that's really important too.
Also developing tonight, a quarter of the jury box has been filled. Jury selection officially began today in Minneapolis in the trial of former police officer Derek Chauvin, charged in the death of George Floyd. That case drew worldwide attention and extensive media coverage, and finding jurors who are impartial is proving to be a challenge. News Nation correspondent Brian Enton is live for us in Minneapolis tonight. Brian.
Marnie, this case has gotten so much attention. It has been hard for the attorneys to find unbiased jurors. Many of the people they interviewed today said they have very strong feelings about the situation. Behind barbed wire fencing and barricades, jury selection started in the Derek Chauvin trial Tuesday.
Juror number 1, we're going to have you come right up here.
Finding 12 jurors and up to 4 alternates who don't have strong opinions about George Floyd's death is difficult. Most of the potential jurors have seen the video of former Officer Chauvin with his knee on Floyd's neck.
I could try to be impartial. I don't know that I can promise impartiality just based on my opinions and personal experiences.
So far, just a handful of jurors have been asked to stay, including a chemist who said he's an advocate for community policing and a woman who said her uncle is a police officer. She said she'd seen the video but could remain impartial.
Would you agree that there are 2 sides to every story?
Yes.
This area behind me is the George Floyd Memorial. This is where George Floyd was killed back in May. Take a look. These barricades have been set up by protesters and supporters of the movement. They don't allow anyone in, not even the police. It's called an autonomous zone. And
you're going to be in a bad situation here in a second.
Oh, I thought if we were on this side of the barricade.
You're going to be in a bad situation in a second.
What do you mean by
Because
bad
you've been called out
situation?
for what you are and you need to get out of here.
Please go.
You know what you are. You need to get in your car and go.
We're just media.
I don't give a who you are. You've been called out for who you are. You need to get in your car.
It's very tense near the memorial, and a militant-style group has closed off several blocks with barricades. What's the situation at the memorial?
The situation at the memorial is, from what I understand, is kind of volatile. People that want to go and support doesn't feel a sense of inclusion. There is more of a militant type atmosphere over there and a sense of fear.
Kim Griffin supports police reform and was outside the courthouse protesting Floyd's death, but she does not agree with what's happening at the memorial. Her nephew, 28-year-old Emez Wright, was shot and killed there over the weekend. Were police able to get in and help him? Or
police were not allowed to get into that area. He was carried outside the zone of George Floyd Square.
But not allowed by who? I mean, they're the police.
The law enforcement, it was made clear law enforcement was not welcome to penetrate that zone, which is an atrocity because his life was taken. And I mean, who knows whether or not he would have survived had things been different.
So very tense there, as you see over there at the memorial. Back to jury selection so far. 2 men and 1 woman have been chosen to move forward. The judge has promised to keep their identities secret. Rob?
And Brian, interesting start to this trial, to say the least. And walk us a little bit through the timeline for the rest of this process.
Yeah, Rob, it's hard to say. It's expected to take quite some time to pick a jury, and you saw why in the piece there. There's just so many people who have such strong opinions about this trial. The latest estimate is that jury selection could take about 3 weeks, and then opening arguments will finally start. Rob?
Brian, live in Minneapolis tonight. Brian Netton, thank you so much. Meantime.
So it looks like it's going to get hot in Minneapolis. Like I said, we will be following that pretty closely over the next probably few weeks, doing live cameras and stuff like that. It looks like the way they have it set up with all the military and all the fences and all the streets blocked, and it literally looks like a fucking war zone. Right? I mean, the one side is blocking off their streets, the other side is blocking off their streets. The one side is flaunting their guns, the other side is keeping their guns low. It looks pretty scary. So I'm not hoping that's what's going to happen. I don't want that to happen for anybody in Minneapolis or anywhere else. It's a horrible, horrible thought. But it looks like this tinderbox that's just set, in so many ways, just perfect, ready to just explode. So it's going to get hot in Minneapolis, most likely. That's why we'll keep an eye on it. All right, so that being said, I have more videos and no one's calling, so I'm going to play videos because that's what I do. Wait a minute, am I out of videos? Am I out of videos? Hold on. Choo. Oh, I have this video. You guys need to see this. This is real, okay? Okay.
Trump won the election. Among the suspect's possessions, this is real, a white privilege card. I want you to take a look at this. It's a fake white privilege credit card. Subtitle, Trump's everything. The card holder, scot-free, with 2 T's. Scot-free is actually spelled with 1 T, but, you know, 2 T's on that card. That one piece of evidence, an insight into the man's state of mind, that he can get away with anything because of his skin color. His lawyer saying this to CNN. This was a guy simply following the advice and the commentary of the president of...
All right, so that's the whole list. I'm pretty sure I played them all. Pretty sure. So I hope you enjoyed the show, because we do this every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And that means we'll be back tomorrow. Same Mox time, same Mox channel. And it's always better when you're here, especially when you call. So I hope we see you back soon, if not tomorrow. Oh, I forgot to say, Craig said that we have someone who wants to sponsor us to do a weekly gift card giveaway on Friday nights, on Dabs for Donation nights. So we have to decide what kind of gift card you guys want. So we'll talk about that tomorrow more in detail. Maybe somebody will want to call and tell us what kind of... Craig says we can get Home Depot card. We can get basically any kind of gift card there is. J.C. Penney's. Anybody want a J.C. Penney card? Huh? We can do that. And we don't even need a reason why. So don't make me go there. Thanks again for tuning in, and I hope we see you here back tomorrow night. Same Mox time, same Mox channel. So until then, stay cool, because one of these days, this war is going to end. So stay cool till then.
I mean, this coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. I wish the coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other.
You got it, buddy! Good job, Boo Bear!
Propeller tail.
It's a propeller tail. He doesn't usually do that.
Oh, now it's all wet.
Good job, Bubba. You got it, buddy. What a good Boo Bear. What a good Boo Bear. You're my beautiful baby, Bubba Bear. You're my beautiful baby. You gonna bring it all the way up? You gonna bring it all the way up here? Come on, all the way. All the way. What a good boy. What a good Boo Bear.
Take a piss. Time for another round. Oh, don't roll in that water. Other doggies pee over there.
All right, ready to go down to the next one? Ready to go down to the next one? Ooh-sha, sha, sha. Ooh-sha, sha, sha. Ooh-sha, sha, sha.
No matter which mouth you feed on a two-headed snake, it still shits the same turd. But lucky for you, you have Mox News. More than 10 years. More than 60,000 videos. Mox News has been filtering the nonsense and illuminating the bullshit from your mainstream media. Turn off your TV and turn on to Mox News. For over a decade, documenting the socio-political events that have etched and carved the pathways that define today's modern mess, Mox News has been providing clarity while faithfully bringing you today's relevant stories, 100% commercial-free and subscription-free. And just like Lady Liberty vows to remain free. But at this time, we're asking you for your help, your patronage, and your support to keep the lights on and the videos rolling. For less than 17 cents per day, you can become a basic subscriber, knowing that your donation is truly making a difference that will help continue bringing the news stories that make a difference in your life. Turn on, tune in, and drop a couple dimes today by clicking the link below or visiting moxnews.com and show your support at any level. From a single one-time donation or dedicated monthly subscriber, do it now in less than 2 minutes. All donations are safe, securely processed, and verified using PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover Card. As always, we're sure you'll find something of interest each and every day. This holiday season, give the gift of Mox. moxnews.com.